Hello, Macsen here. Welcome to my Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri Alien Crossfire Let's Play. Now, I'm guessing that some of you may have clicked this video without knowing what Alpha Centauri is. It's basically one of the best ever 4X games ever made. It's made by the same company that makes the Civilization series, which is Firaxis games, of course. So it's very similar to those games. It's getting on quite a bit now. It's nearly 15 odd years old, but it's still an absolute classic. You may have heard that Firaxis Games is actually making a new game that's due to come out later on this year, 2014, called Civilization Beyond Earth. And that game is actually a spiritual successor, they're touting it, to the Alpha Centauri game. So I thought it'd be quite a good idea for me to pull out my old copy of Alpha Centauri, since it's such an amazing game, and well, it'd be cool to reminisce about it a bit as well. You can still actually buy Alpha Centauri. I believe it's available for digital downloads on GOG.com, good old games. But yeah, I should get started with this Let's Play, so let's start the game. So I'm going to have a customized random map, a small planet. Even though it's small, there'll be plenty of room for a huge amount of bases or cities, and but we should get into combat relatively early on, hopefully. So for the rest of the settings, I'm just going to pick the medium setting. Basically, there isn't a random option, sadly. So take that for ocean coverage. Erosive forces basically determines how hilly or mountainous the terrain is, so I'll just pick average for that again. Native life forms, average for that. Select cloud cover. This basically denotes how rainy the world is, which affects how much food there is, or nutrients they call it in this game. For difficulty level, I'll play on Thinker difficulty level, so quite higher up difficulty. For game rules, I'll customize the rules a tiny bit. I'm going to deselect blind research. I much prefer to be able to pick the tech I want to go for. And I'm also going to select do or die, so factions won't be restarted should they be eliminated. If you've played the Civilization games, then this should be relatively familiar to you. The Transcendence victory is basically a tech victory, and then you've got other victory types as well, like Conquest and so on. So for the factions, one of the best things that Alpha Centauri makers did was creating factions that have a huge amount of character. They each have their special abilities. So for example, the Morganites are the Moguls. They're very economically focused, and say for example the Spartans, they're quite military focused. So yeah, and these were the factions that were added in the Alien Crossfire Let's Play. So for the actual faction that I'm going to be playing as, I'll play as the Free Drones faction, one of the factions from the Alien Crossfire expansion. So for their abilities, they have this quite unique ability here. Basically, if other factions' bases revolt, there's a chance that they will join the Free Drones. I don't really expect it to happen much, if at all. In this Let's Play, it's quite hard for it to happen, but you never know. I'll go into details about the other stats a bit later on into the Let's Play. But for the rest of the factions, I've actually decided to pick them myself. So the first faction I'll pick are the Gaians. There's a decent chance that the Gaians won't like us in the game because they tend to pick green economics, which we can't pick. And also, likewise, I'll pick the Planet Cult, which they also go for green economics usually as well. I'll pick the University faction. They're good at research, unlike ourselves. I'll also pick the Spartans, good at military. And the last faction that I'll pick are the Morganites, the ones who are good at economics. And I'll leave one slot free. There's actually a quote that plays now, and I'm going to let that play since it's quite interesting. If you want to skip that though, click the link or skip ahead about 30 odd seconds or so. Okay.
Now it's day and night the irons clang, and like poor galley slaves, we toil and toil, and when we die, must fill dishonored graves. But some dark night, when everything is silent in the town, I'll shoot those tyrants one and all. I'll gun the flogger down. I'll give the land a little shock. Remember what I say, and they'll yet regret they've sent Jim Jones in chains to Potney Bay. Jim Jones, traditional.
Okay, so I'll keep the default name. Right, Planetfall. Demai, a new era of struggle and opportunity awaits you. The UN starship Unity has arrived in the Alpha Centauri system after a 40-year voyage. All contact with Earth has been lost. After Captain Garland's assassination by an unknown assailant, the crew mutinied and split into factions. In the ensuing conflict, some seized control of the Unity's colony pods. You now shape the destiny of your free drone faction, which has just made Planetfall. Okay, so our first base is Free Drone Central. I've actually left the tutorial settings on, but I'm not going to go through the tour on it. I'll actually mention the game's basics myself, since this is the first Alpha Centauri Let's Play on my channel. So before I start that though, let's take a look to see who that random faction was. So it looks like it was the Lord's Believers. They're very militaristic, so yeah, it could be a threat to us potentially. So let's take a look inside of Free Drone Central. Now if you're familiar to the Civilization series, this should be quite well familiar to you. So you've got three types of resources in this game. You have nutrients, which is basically the foods. You've got minerals, which is production, and you've got energy, which is your gold, or basically what you put towards science. You can only build one thing at a time, basically units, buildings, or wonders. And you have citizens. At the start of the game you don't have too many types. Your main citizen are the workers. Psych we don't need yet. Basically if you get too many drones, which is unhappy citizens, then you might need some doctors or various, well, empathy or transcendi potentially. Because we're the free drones though, we should have less unhappiness than most other factions. So let's check out the social engineering screen. This is basically the screen which you use to tailor how your faction works. So you could be more militaristic or focus on money depending on what picks you make. At the start of the game there's no options. You can't pick anything other than the basic social engineering settings, but later on I definitely will be selecting certain things like democracy maybe, or police state, or planned economics for example. Because we're free drones, this is slightly different to other factions. We've got extra production, but we're much poorer at research. So what I might want to do actually is to increase my labs right now, but there is a downside to doing that. You get quite a large minuses. So I probably don't want to keep it at 80% for long, but if I have it at 80% then the breakthrough will be halved basically. So I think that might be a good idea. Also, you start, basically everything is 0 at the moment, but we're allowed 2 units per base at the moment. If you have more than that then it will cost you minerals, so that's pretty bad. And we can have 1 police unit, and I'll go into details about the others when we actually get some points into them, I think. There is a way to get rid of this malice. You basically need to increase your efficiency, so I might want to try and do that a bit later on so I can have a more flexible economy. Otherwise I'll probably keep to 50-50. If I have drone problems then I may want to invest in psych potentially. Okay, so let's select our research. So change research goal. Right, so that's a heck of a lot to choose from here, but first of all I probably want to go for this tech, Centauri ecology. This gives you former units, which is basically the equivalent of workers in Alpha Centauri. You don't get them from the start unless you're certain factions like the Gaians, I believe. So I'm going to pick that, and it should take 14 turns to do. So we start off with a scout patrol. It's green, which is basically its morale, or how good it is in combat, and we start off with another colony pod. These things here are Unity pods, and they're basically like ruins in the Civilization series. They give you rewards, or sometimes they give you alien life forms which can attack you. But I'll go into details about them should we actually meet some. We're bound to in a bit. The tiles, I'll probably go into details a bit more about them when we actually get that terraformer. I'll quickly show you the unit workshop as well. You can actually design your own units in this game. It's probably one of the coolest features of Alpha Centauri. They're not actually going to have this in Civilization Beyond Earth, which is a bit of a surprise. Going to have different system. But yeah, I'm not going to use the default settings with this. I'm going to make my own units, because if you let the AI choose your units, it tends to bloat your build list quite a bit. Because we're the free drones, we actually started with a tech that gives us more armor. I'll show you that if I can find it. I'm sure I can actually. Yeah, but basically the tech gives you the option to build that unit. I think I'll change it to that as well. And it also allows you to build the merchant exchange, which is a wonder straight away. Okay, so don't want to move there because there's fungus. Fungus slows you down, and there's potentially alien life forms there. So I'm going to move to this pod first. You know what? Actually, I will move there. I'll move the colony pods onto that one.
Energy resources.
Oh, excellent. So we've got a Unity rover from that pod. Unity is the spacecraft that all the factions arrived in, basically. So this unit is it can move fast, and it gets a bonus in combat if it attacks in certain terrain, I believe. And it can disengage against a stronger but slower enemy. I can probably show you. Yeah, there's all basic unit types there. Chassis types. So yeah, that's the speeder if you want to pause and read that. So there's another pod there. Let's go and find that.
Pod recovered.
Dimensional Rift has cloned our Unity rover unit. Wow, been really lucky here so far. Now your starting units actually start out as independent. They don't actually come from a base. So I mentioned earlier about the support limit. That doesn't count towards those, luckily. Okay, so got 2 Unity rovers. Let's got 1 movement left. I'll move to there. Found another pod, so I can grab that. There's details on the supply pods from the tutorial. If you want to check out the tutorial, then you can pause if you want to check those out. I'll try and mention most of it though. We've discovered the materials pods. It gives you enough extra minerals to complete the synth metal sentinels next turn.
Turn complete.
Excellent. That's a really amazing turn, actually. Something else I should mention as well. You can actually take a look around the fog of the map to see where terrain is right from the start. You can see here that certain terrain is elevated, so we know that there's land there. It looks like there's actually a crater there. And certain terrain gives you bonuses. I think it might be this one, the Garland crater. And that gives you +1 mineral in interior squares, so settling down there might be a very good idea.
Turn complete.
So let's check that again. Right, North 14. Yeah, 14's a long time to research, but
Production complete.
it's not as long as 28 was. Right, so we completed the synth metals unit. What shall I make now? You can see there that that unit is now supported by this base. I think... Shall I make another one? Yeah, I think I will. Okay. And I could explore with this. I think I should at this point. So I'll move that down to there. I'll move that colony in a minute. This rover can come down here. There's fungus in those tiles. I don't want to go there. And that rover can go there. Now I can't actually colonize or make a city on certain tiles. That tile there's a rocky tile, so you can't settle on rocky tiles basically. You can terraform them so they're no longer rocky, and also you can't settle on fungus either, but you can also terraform them once you've got form a unit. So I might want to do that later on. Probably settling over here might be a good idea actually. That tile there's nutrient bonus, so it's a very good tile. That's a mineral bonus tile. So I move that rover to there. So where should I put that colony? I think that tile would be good to settle. That tile would be good. Move to there.
Turn complete.
Okay. Okay, this unit can move to there. Right, there's more land over here. Oh, that's an energy bonus tile as well, which is really good. I may want to use that tile. What's that? 1, 2. Be stagnant though, but I'd get my research done quicker if I were to do that. So let's check that out. Still 14 turns actually. Let's do that. Okay, so Unity rover. Yeah, it's a Garland crater. Probably don't want to move to the rocky tile since it was slowed down. There. That can move to there. It looks like there's ocean there. So I think this is best tile. You can have sea-based resources though, so if there is one around there I might be missing out on it potentially. But I think I'm going to settle there. You have 20 tiles around your bases in Civ 5. I think it's about 36 on a hexagram system. So it's a lot less on this, but you tend to have a lot more cities in this game than you do in Civilization 5. The AI loves to spam cities even more than it does in that game. It's good for the player to spam cities usually as well in this game. There's not too many negatives in doing it. Right, so there's a heck of a lot of fungus down here. Definitely want to base probably in one of these tiles in a bit. This unit can keep on moving over here. Minerals there, so probably want base there maybe. That unit can come down there. I don't think I've saved the game yet, I'll do that as well. Okay, right, so that would be the outline for my base. I wouldn't be taking up any of that base's tiles. It's probably okay to take up a certain amount of tiles from another base. It's quite hard to get your population over 14 in this game because you have to get a certain building to do that. So up to about 6 tiles it's okay to lose probably. Right, so yeah, I think I will make a base there. The graphics are slightly not basically, because this is a really old game, the resolution, I'm playing in a modern resolution 1080p, but the game isn't actually designed to be played at that resolution. I've had to tinker with the INI settings. I didn't think I was actually going to be able to record in this resolution, but I found a way. But yeah, the graphics are a bit odd on the option menu and in certain screens basically. That's not much of an issue really. Right, so power grid is founded. You actually get 10 minerals towards your first unit production as well, with the current social settings I have. So I think I'll make that unit there.
Turn complete.
I can actually check out my research as well, see how it's going. So which one is that? F2. Got 9 years left on it.
Turn complete.
That's,
Mod recovered.
oh wow, right, so that unit finally got into that xenofungus tile where there was a pod, and it's found a unity foil, which is a sea-based unit. So I know there's land down there, bit of land there. Still haven't found another faction. You can often be right next to factions in this game from the start. It's a small map, so I am expecting to have combat relatively early on. There's probably a faction up here, maybe one over here. Let's get that
Indigenous
pod.
life form.
Okay, so we found our first native life forms. These are mind worms. Now, they attack in a very weird way. They have side combat, and side combat is basically you want to attack rather than be attacked against native life forms. You see there the numbers. That's your attack. That's your defense, and that's your movement. But that's only for conventional warfare against other factions. Your side combat is basically your morale. That's your main modifier towards it. So let's attack this unit. I'll show you this. Okay, you can see there it talks a bit about side combat. It's 1-to-1 at sea, so there's no bonus to anyone, and 3-to-2 advantage on land to the attacker. We got 24-to-7 advantage, and we're disciplined, so we got no extra modifier, but they're only a hatchling, so they get a minus 12%. Right, so let's proceed with the attack. Expecting to win this. I don't think I actually took damage either, which is a surprise actually. And we got 10 energy credits, which is great. So fungus there. Right, move to that tile. And that
Turn
tile.
complete. Turn complete.
And next turn. Okay, I probably should come over there. Rivers give you extra energy, and they also allow you to move quicker if you move along them, so it could be a good idea to move along it. There's a pod there, so I want to get that. So this unit, I think I'll bring it up here to explore, and that can move to there. So it doesn't look like there's a faction over here. I'd be surprised if there's probably more land over here. Probably there's a faction there somewhere. Oh, that's a mine. So it's highly likely that there's a faction down here. That's probably been someone's probably triggered a pod and created that mine, basically. Yeah. So we found the university faction. So the university. That's a bit of the details. They're extremely good scientifically, but they're quite weak to spies or probe teams, they're called, so that could be something I could take advantage of later on. I may want to conquer these quite quickly, potentially. So what was his attitude towards us? Ambivalent, right. Right. The stalwart foreman Demai, first among the drones. I lead the university and I'm honoured to be its provost, Zakharov. We intend to pursue pure research unfettered by outside motives and meddling. Right, so he wants to trade planetary networks for our tech industrial base. That's the name of it, which I've forgotten earlier on. That's basically... Let's check it out. So planetary networks. Where is that? That's a probe team, which I definitely quite like, especially against him since he's very good at tech and we're very bad at tech. I'd love to nick some tech off him. But if I give him that, that would mean he has better defense against me if I were to attack him. This is the only tech I've got though. I think I'm actually going to do it, although it's questionable. I need to get a military tank quite quickly against him then, probably. Yeah, that's satisfactory. Now I could Just
Our society seems more nihilistic
I'll be
than
quiet
that
during
of
these.
previous eras. Perhaps this is simply a sign of our maturity as a sentient species. As our collective consciousness expands beyond a crucial point, we are at last ready to accept life's fundamental truth, that life's only purpose is life itself. Chairman Shen Jiyang, looking God in the eye.
Right, so that tech actually allows us to take planned economy, which I could do. I don't think I will yet. I'm not even sure I've got enough money to do it. I'll probably go into details about that when I actually take it, or if I actually take it. I could have threatened this guy potentially to give me a tech. There are ways you can do that. He wants a friendship treaty. I'm actually going to turn that down, since I probably want to conquer him. Looks like we've entered his territory. Right. I could threaten him now. I don't think I have any tech to trade him. I'm going to do that one, see if he gives me a tech. No. Let's ask him if he knows anyone else. So I'll ask him for comlink frequencies to the other factions. Right, he lacks that, and he's actually
Turn complete.
decided to leave our conversation. Right, so his base is down there. It's a reasonable amount of distance away. You can see there that we have borders. I think from land bases it goes about 7 tiles. The territory border does, unless there's someone else's base nearby. So I probably want to get down here quickly. Settle. I could retool that to colony pod. Or that one. I think I will retool because I really want that base down there now. Before it gets to it. So which would be quicker? You can make the terrain flat as well. By doing a certain setting so you can see things a bit clearer. That one there. Might leave that on for a second.
Complete.
So 1, 2, 3. Probably want colony around there. Yeah, let's change this one over then. To that. And you can actually use your money to hurry along. 31, don't have enough to do that yet. And probably move a unit over there just in case a mindworm comes and attacks it. Right, so next turn.
Production complete.
Free drone completed those synth metal units. I'll build enough colony. That unit I shall bring over to there. Foil ship can go get that pod. Looks like it discovered a map. This unit looks like I've explored as much as I can over here. I could stick that unit on foil potentially to go and explore somewhere else. I probably maybe want to get units down here though, to actually attack Sakharov potentially. Let's move there. If you stay within their territory, it annoys them a tiny bit, but at this stage I don't really mind annoying him a bit. There's a zone of control around each unit, so I can't move there, for example. There's the rules to it. So can't move there either, so I'll have to move back there. Okay, and let's move to there.
Complete.
I don't think I have enough to rush
Insufficient
this yet.
energy. Turn complete.
Okay, so next turn. Right, so this rover down there. There's another pod which I want to get. I'll bring this back over. Go there. Oh, another pod, excellent.
Turn complete. Turn
Right.
complete.
Next turn. Can I hurry that?
Request
I
confirmation.
think it might be worthwhile just to beat him to that spot. Won't be able to settle
Turn
if I
complete.
do that. Oh, right, the population's too low. I'd forgotten that. You can't... Ah, that's really bad. I wasted money then. You can't create a colony pod until the population is size 2 or more. So that's a waste of money. Oh, right, so find a pod there. Let's
Nutrient resources.
move on to that. The pod has malfunctioned and unleashed an earthquake. Right, so there's a ton of terraforming details. Still don't have a terraformer yet, or reformer. Research hasn't quite done on it. Let's get this.
Indigenous life form.
Okay, so we've found a native life form, a sea-based unit. It has a couple of mind worms within it, so that's really bad. I'm going to move away with this foil in case it comes towards me. Or at least try to run out of movement points. We found a monolith. Monoliths are amazing. They give you quite really good bonuses. They basically give you 2 nutrients, 2 minerals, and 2 energy. And they can also give promotions to units. So I'll investigate this. This will go from green to disciplined.
Turn complete.
And you can also use them to repair your units.
Turn complete.
When does this grow? 10 turns. It's actually really bad food here. That's done in 8 turns, which is too long actually. I can build another one of those. I could build a probe team. That's really tempting. I think I'll build one of those, then I'll build a probe team and nick some tech off them.
Turn complete.
Okay.
Combat report.
Right, we're actually attacked by them. But we survived, luckily. Okay. Right, that's unit's been damaged. You can only repair... You can't repair fully in the field. 20% up to is the best you can repair, so might as well keep moving with this unit rather than try and move it back to base. Right, some more land over there. Probably should get a unit to there as well in a minute if I can. Let's bring that to there. I probably want to move over here. There's a pod there, let's go and get that.
Indigenous life form.
More native life forms. It's probably going to attack me in there. That's not good because it would be a 3-2 advantage for them.
Indigenous life form.
Yeah, more life forms. I think we've had a pretty good start here actually. There's a good chance we're going to bottle him up down here. Ooh, that's a really strong native life form. That is fungus tower. It gets basically the more xenofungus around it, the stronger it becomes. Right, let's attack this unit.
Turn complete.
Okay, and I think I'm actually going to call it an end of the video here. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, then please watch the next video. Also, if you enjoy any of my videos, please give them a like. It really helps me out a huge amount. More likes and comments I get, the bigger my channel will become, and basically the more videos I'll be able to make because of that. Also, if you're new to my channel, you may want to subscribe to other Let's Plays for Civilization 5 and Europa Universalis 4, for example, and also Endless Space, and there'll be many more different games coming in the future. Okay, so thanks once again, and I'll see you next time.